Today I'm going to talk about bleed settings in InDesign and why you need bleed settings in printing overall. So we're designing a birthday card here, and as you can see I have my graphic color going all the way to the edge on the front or the top right and bottom. You can see right here. And what's going to happen in printing is large sheets of paper, a whole bunch of sheets are going to go through a press, and they're going to then go into a big stack and go into a huge cutter and get cut. The likelihood of each sheet of paper getting cut right on this line is improbable. It's highly improbable. What you're going to end up with many times is a little sliver of white on your edges, and even that little sliver will vary from sheet to sheet. And that's because it's not a precision process. You know, when you're printing a photograph, that's just one sheet of paper, and so it can be cut right along the edge or printed right to the edge. But when you're dealing with printing, what's happening is this graphic or this card is getting printed on a much larger sheet and then getting cut down. Sometimes you're doing a gang run, which you're printing 100 business cards on a sheet and then getting it cut down. So you don't want a little white sliver on your graphic, which your card would end up looking like this, right? And that's not what you want. In order to avoid that, what you need to do is you need to extend your color beyond the cut line. So I'm going to go back over to my normal view, and I'm going to add a bleed around this edge. Now in InDesign, what you would do is you would go to Document Setup. Right here in your bleed setting, you'd let it know how much bleed you want to have, and I like to use 1/8 of an inch. That's pretty standard. Some printers only use 1/16 of an inch. As you can see, InDesign has now given me a nice little red 1/8 of an inch border showing me where my bleed needs to end at, and I'm just going to extend my artwork to that bleed area. Now remember, this is going to get cut off, and no important information can be in that area. Additionally, you really don't want any important information within 1/8 of an inch inside. So I hope I didn't confuse you, but let me just say, if I had this birthday way over to the edge and I don't want that exclamation point to get cut off, you don't want to have it that close to the edge. So you want to allow yourself some space between the cutting and your artwork, and then you want your graphic to go beyond the cut line by 1/8 of an inch. So now that we've created our bleed, we can go ahead and export our file for press, and we're going to go ahead and select that, and we're going to save. I'm going to replace the file that I have. Okay, so we want to select press quality in most cases. And then right here where we have marks and bleeds, we want to do printer marks, and we want to check this bleed setting. This bleed setting is telling the program to include that color in that area. If you don't click this, even though you have your bleed setting in the InDesign file, you will not get it in your print file. So now we want to just export. And there we go. We have our print file, and you can see our cut lines here. And you can see how, I'm going to try to zoom in a little bit, but it didn't work. You can see how this is my cut line here. And so after my document gets cut here and here, there's not going to be a sliver of white paper. And it's going to have color all the way to the edge. And also, this is a nice way to show you how the sheet's going to be. The sheet is actually going to be this size or larger and then cut down. So I hope that helps you with bleed settings in InDesign.